In this video, we're going to dive deep into burnout because I am a chronic burnout addict, and I'm certainly getting better. I've worked with a hypnotherapist this year for a good percentage of the year just to help me with the stress, with the anxiety, with all of this stuff. And I'm going to share a few big lessons from scaling my businesses over the last decade quite aggressively, a few things I learned, a few mistakes I made with burnout, why it happens. A lot of the time, for a lot of coaches I speak to, it seems like burnout is a inevitable thing in their journey. So I'm going to share why it happens and how you can optimize your business and your life for this to never happen, or to happen minimally. One of the first big lessons with burnout that I would love to share and talk about is burnout as a whole is a bit of a kind of myth and a bit of a thing. Not a myth, right? Let me rephrase it. It's not a myth, but I think it's something that a lot of coaches, in particular, when they're starting out, are really scared of, and they think, I don't want to burn out. I don't really want to do that. I don't really want to get to that point. And like, believe it or not, love it or hate it, but I do think if you're fearful of burnout, and if you always have burnout in your mind, you're going to associate symptoms. You're going to associate normal symptoms to burnout. So what I mean by that is, if you're a little bit tired, you might sound burnt out, right? If you feel anxious, if you feel stressed, which is normal when you're starting a business, you're certainly going to feel more stressed and more anxious when you're running a business than you are if you do a normal job for the most part. If you associate these symptoms to burnout, and you're thinking this is burnout, this is the end of the world, it's the worst thing in the world, you're going to have a much harder time building your business. You're going to have a much harder time enjoying the process and actually staying sustainable with it as well. So I would be careful with the kind of the kind of words you associate and the kind of words you tell yourself. This applies to burnout, this applies to anxiety, to stress, to depression. Like, I speak to people that haven't been diagnosed and just feel a little bit of stress, a bit of anxiety, and they're like, I'm so stressed, I'm so anxious. And the more you say that to yourself, the more it causes that to happen. Obviously, like, it's completely different if you do have those and you have been diagnosed and you have family members that go through that. It's completely different. I certainly seek for help, like therapy, like I've done. But just be careful. Like, if you just feel a little bit stressed, just be careful with the kind of words and terminology you are kind of linking to that. That'd be the first thing. The second thing I learned after pushing super hard when I was much younger, so within the very second or third business I started, I pushed super hard. It was during lockdown. I pushed super hard for a long time. And then I was pretty much bedridden for maybe 2 months. Maybe not 2 months, maybe like 6 weeks. But the reason and what made it worse for me at the time is because I didn't know better. I didn't know better that, if I feel bad for a day, it probably is worth, okay, let me try and push a little bit. And if I still can't really get much done from a focus perspective, rather than continuing to push, I should probably just take a day, 2 days, 3 days, just completely off, just do my non-negotiables, just respond to clients, post my content, check in with my team. Like, it depends on where you're at. Like, at different stages, I was running quite a big team at different stages. Like, we have a business that's doing $250,000 a year. Like, you need to have a big business for that, but it depends on where you're at. So that's the first thing I'd say. It's one thing I struggled with is like knowing when to slow down, when to take downtime when I do feel stressed and when I felt burnt out. But one big lesson from that, it's going to sound a bit counterintuitive, is I actually think most business owners do need to go through that phase at least once where they do feel super burnt out, because then they know what the symptoms are, what the real symptoms of burnout are. And when they know the symptoms, it's much easier to slow down. It's much easier to know what to look for, what to avoid, where to go, right? As an example, right now, or even the next 100 days, I've set out some very big goals for me from a business perspective, some very big stuff that I'm pushing and working. I'm in this studio in this office, working 12-hour, 16-hour days, and this is pretty much going to be my life for the next 100 days, right? 4 months, 3.5. I have set these goals, but I also have set much more clear non-negotiables as the stuff I'm doing every day to protect my energy, to protect my downtime and switch off, right? Waking up, usually typical days, probably 9 a.m. start, finish at 9 p.m. I have a walk in the middle of the day to re-get my energy, to reignite my energy, to get some health benefits as well, like a long walk. I wouldn't have been able to be so crisp with these non-negotiables as I'm so strict with the health non-negotiables, with the focus and the mental health side of things in terms of how I'm protecting that. I wouldn't ever be able to be so strict with it if I didn't first kind of do the mistakes and fail. It's a bit like, when you start training, most of the guys watching these videos are fitness guys. When you first start training in the gym, you probably get told, don't do this with your deadlifts, don't do that wrong, and you have to make the mistake at least once to be able to know kind of what to look out for. So I don't think burnout is like the be all end all. I don't think it's as bad. I think what's worse is the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions you attach to it. A lot of the time, the early signs of burnout is just your body telling you should probably slow down, you should probably kind of relax a little bit, you should probably rest. If you can just take those feelings, those thoughts, those triggers, those warning signs from your body, from your brain, if you can just take those, not attach any more emotion, not attach any negative emotion in particular to them, and you can just do your best to slow down in that period, the easier you will recover, and the easier you'll be able to move forward. I speak to a lot of coaches, and this is a struggle I have as well. I speak to a lot of coaches that struggle with this. They're like, I feel burnt out, I feel stressed, I feel like I should take a downtime, but I really can't because this is so important. It needs to be done right now and right here and now. It needs to be done ASAP. And they say that, and then because they say that, because they're always thinking about that, they're creating more energy that the body can't really kind of fully switch off and rest and recharge. And because of that burnout carries on. The more you can kind of detach and ask yourself like a genuine question, right? You probably started this business to have freedom, to have money, to have the life of your dreams. If you can't take 24 hours away from your phone when you feel like you need it, then you're probably building the most horrible business in the world. You should be able to take 24 hours or a weekend completely off from Instagram, from social media, from WhatsApp, from emails. The way we build our clients' businesses is by having these structures, by having these clear non-negotiables. Like when they have fitness clients that join their program, we literally map out a very clear terms and conditions. This is my date, my downtime. It might be a Saturday or Sunday. I might not be as available on my phone, but you get the program bit around the support Monday to Friday, or Sunday to Friday. Some clients prefer to have Friday and Saturday off. Like all of these things, right? And because you have those time to breathe, to think, to do something for you, it'll be a lot easier. This is something I struggled with in terms of having that downtime, having that things to do, to switch off onto, right? Find things that are a bit more like things that you can switch away to and go somewhere else and do something else for a day. Go for a walk, right? Just listen to a podcast. It's harder said than done, of course, but it'll make it a lot easier for you to not burn out. But a lot of the time, the fear, the stress, the anxiety of the burnout itself amplifies it and makes it much worse. I wanted to give you a different perspective on burnout because everyone's going to give you the same stuff. Drink more water, go for walks, read audio books, or like listen to audiobooks and read books. Correct me. Like all of these different things that everyone's already heard. But I want to give you a bit of a different perspective. It's like the thoughts you have in the back of your head around the stress, the anxiety, can amplify it. or can also decrease it if you don't put such a big importance to it. And it's like, the best way I can finish this video is if I told you to not think about a blue horse. I can imagine you're probably thinking about blue horse right now, right? Doesn't exist, but it's still in the back of your head, right? It's the same with burnout. If you're constantly thinking about burnout, if you're constantly thinking about not burning out, you're more likely to cause it. If you're constantly thinking about crashing your business and your business crashing and burning because you haven't got any leads and you haven't got any sales, the more likely you are to do the things that cause that exact thing. So be very careful with the thoughts, the feelings, the ideas you feed your brain and your head, because those basically build you or destroy, your business at the same time as well. So be very careful. Like, audit these stuff. Have a notepad and pen, or have something in your notes where you genuinely audit. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Where are you heading with this stuff? And the more you can focus on the stuff you do want to be doing, and the more you can be focused on doing these stuff and avoiding it, it'd be much easier to avoid the burnout side of things in the first place, right? That's my unique perspective and slightly different perspective on burnout after being a chronic burnout chaser for many years of my life. I'm certainly much better now with the help of therapy and hypnotherapy in the last year. So I hope you take value from this. If you do want to see more content like this, where it's more mindset or more burnout or motivation, make sure to hit like and subscribe so you can, so I know what to post on more of. If you want one-to-one help with starting and growing your coaching business, then there'll be a link to apply down below. And I'll see you in the next one.